Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. Jason C. in the house. That's right. That is me. Why am I talking in third person? I don't know. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. I'm Jason C. Like, subscribe, do all the things you need to do to help grow the channel. Really appreciate the support. Thanks so much for hanging out tonight, coming in, and it's going to be a fun show. Not only do we have, one bottle I want to talk about in particular, the new Old Carter, and then two brand new bottles I haven't even tasted yet. This is the Woodford Reserve Historic Barrel Entry Proof. I told you I wanted to try it, so here it is. Luckily, I didn't have to buy this one just yet. This was sent to me from one of my amazing patrons to try out for all you guys. He didn't even crack it yet, so we're gonna do some first impressions here tonight. This is the brand new Old Forester 117 series, the Warehouse H. We'll get into the details of what makes it Warehouse H, how it's differentiating itself from the other 117 series releases. But yeah, I actually have the Woodford Reserve in my glass because I wanted it just to open up a little bit before we took a dive in. So not only going to be trying these tonight, we're also going to do a quick blind tasting. Well, I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. But I mean, just like a 2 whiskey blind tasting. But then we're gonna do a little Matt Madness training because you guys know, like I did good last week, but that was taking my sweet ass time. Tonight, we're gonna do a proper training. We have 2 different blind flights from Eric Desmarius, who's a great friend of the show, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, if my internet, my freaking internet, what is going on? I'll be right back, guys. Let me refresh the screen like I was doing last week till it fixes itself. So I'm convinced that it's not my internet. This is a StreamYard thing because this has just been happening randomly lately with StreamYard. I reset my internet. Everything has been fine. I think it's a StreamYard thing. So we'll see what happens. But now we can't resist after watching this as David Voth. Let me say hi to you folks in the chat. Hold on one second. Let me okay, let me go here. All right, so first things first, Gary Franchi. Got to hang out with this man over the weekend on Saturday. We'll get into that a little bit. Donald B's in the house. Mark Emanecker, SN Fishing. What's going on, man? Saucy Shane in the house. We have David Vogelsang, the Bourbon Van. What's going on, buddy? Nate Cox is here. Roscoe P. Coltrane. Jeff Perkins is in the house. How you doing, man? Dave Markowski is here. JP Sack, Paul P. Ricardo Carroll. Jeff Perkins, Chris Abuzalencia. What's going on, man? EJ's here. Say hi to Lily for me with that mug. Lucas Oppener is in the house. SN Fishing is here. Whiskey Juice. Joe the Sample Guy. K-Mac Blue. The first rule of Old Carter is we don't talk about Old Carter. We'll get into a little bit of some of my things with Old Carter, a little bit tonight. Let's see. Ben Drammond here. David Voth. Rose Fletcher's here. How you doing, Rose? Let's see, JT Piercy in the house. The Bourbon Van is here. Guys, if you guys are not watching the Bourbon Van, great content. Go give them a subscribe. Tim Tam Slam in the house. What's going on, buddy? Roy R. Does Cocktails is now in the house. Roy R. Does Good Things no longer. Now he does cocktails. Love it. Crispy Bacon is here. Tim looking gorgeous as usual. Joe Wanninger is here. Kidney stone removal procedure today. So my drink of choice tonight is Vicodin. Joe Wanninger, hope you feel better, buddy. Let's see. Song needs more cowbell. It's a good idea, actually. Big Vic in the house. Cheech Artolino. What's going on, buddy? Everybody go check out Cheats at Whiskey Encore. David Go, Miracle Martinez, and a bunch of other people coming in. Blizzard here. We're cozying up in front of the Mass and Drums as the Bourbon Van. Yeah, for any of you guys getting that crazy storm, please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. I'm not sure. What's the prediction for the amount of inches everyone's supposed to get? What kind of snow is this stuff dropping? Are we looking at ice, snow? What do we got? Lucas Oppener says dealing with snow again. Yeah, I know it's ripping through Washington. Yeah, Wisconsin, went on one night, snowing in Oregon, 18-ish, 18 inches of snow. Shit, Wisconsin's getting crushed right now, man. I hope my buddy Scott the Hawk is doing okay. So, so yeah, okay. And let's see here. Hey, Black Bourbon families here. Will Henderson, Dr. Detroit, Saucy Shane, JC Marasigian. Okay. Let me see here. Warm up episode for Matt Madness. Yeah, a little bit. Gotta hell, it was 85 degrees in Atlanta today. Look at William Wiley rubbing that shit in. It's probably that fake stone that doesn't melt when you burn it. All right, guys. So let's just jump into whiskey tonight, man. What do you guys think? Let's go right into the bourbon. I don't want to waste too much time here. We got a lot to get to tonight. It's going to be a fun show. Going to go through a lot of news, a lot of new labels, some new bottles. Nothing too crazy. It's still kind of a slowish time of year right now. We're still waiting for that spring to kick in. Really, all the spring releases start hitting the market. We'll go through some of that. So let me get a little bit of a close-up here. This is the Woodford Reserve Historic Barrel Entry. Now, it says batch 18 there on the bottom. So it's the 18th version of the Masters collection that they have released, the 18th different version. That beautiful 90.4 proof that Masters collection and Woodford Reserve loves to be at, aside from the batch proof. But I mean, we'll get into a little bit of the history here. So blah, blah, blah. Okay, latest release in Woodford's Masters collection is named Historic Barrel Entry due to the fact that the whiskey entered the barrel at 100 proof. That's pretty damn low when you think about it in today's standards. I think we talked about it when we kind of saw the bottle announcement, and the lowest that I could think of that I've seen in the industry is 104, which I think which is what Michter's does. If there's anything lower than that, there might be some lower than that, doing it for some craft distilleries. Maybe I just don't know about it, or others don't know about it quite yet. But 100 is pretty damn low. Today whiskey usually enters at around 125, but in the 19th century, the standard was 100 to 103 proof. Woodford Reserve is nodding to the olden days with this release. So the idea is when you go in the barrel with more water, you're gonna, more water in the barrel than a standard entry proof. You're gonna break down a lot more of the sugars in the barrel within. As it ages, you get a little bit. The theory is to get something sweeter, and you get some of those sweeter and those heavy vanilla notes that you get in that that special. I think it's the lignin layer of the wood. They call it the red layer. Is where you get a lot of those sweet flavors from. So we'll see if we get that here. All right. Let's see here. Oh man, internet. Hold on a second, guys. All right. Hey, Jason, notice Uncle Nearest has put out a rye whiskey, says Whiskey Juice. Yeah, I actually have it. I have it right here somewhere. I do have it. You will see a review on it. You will see a review on the Uncle Nearest rye whiskey. What is water? You sure it wasn't water? Yeah, it's water. Water. Did I say actually water? That's nice. I haven't tasted it yet, Whiskey Juice, so I'm not really sure. Even bourbon makes your internet connection better. Yeah, it seems like last week, after I refreshed it a couple times, just kind of fixed itself. I don't know what's going on. Have you had the latest Bookers? Any thoughts? Haven't had that. YouTube user, not quite. Actually, I haven't even seen it yet. But we'll see. I was very encouraged by the Booker's batches last year. I thought they were pretty solid. I thought they were pretty good. I really did like a couple of batches last year. That Lumberyard batch I thought was pretty good. So we'll see. And what we saw. Oh, holy shit! Sorry, guys. I just got like the biggest punch of dark cherry in this, like cherry Garcia ice cream immediately. All right, that's the first note. Wow, heavy cherry. Man, Luxardo cherry syrup. Wow, that kind of Yeah, that was the good one. Kentucky Tea. I loved Kentucky Tea. That was a really, really good batch. That was my that I put in my top 20 for last year. It didn't really crack the top 10. I think when you put it in a blind like that against all these other whiskeys, the youthful notes start showing up in Booker's, unfortunately. But on its own, Kentucky Tea is a freaking solid whiskey. Hey, there he is. Got your samples all boxed up for next week. Hope your flights tonight are a little outside the box. We'll see, Matt. Knowing Eric, he probably did put some weird shit in here. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to be playing with some different glasses tonight to see if that maybe helps a little bit discern some of the whiskeys faster. I don't think my issue is discerning the whiskeys if I have time. It's discerning the whiskeys at a faster speed. That is that's my challenge. I have been doing some blind tastings. I've been doing pretty well, but again, you just never know what you're going to get from Matt. So we'll see here. Appreciate it. Yeah, I go next week on Friday. I am live for my round. I'm going to be going against Dusty Dan and Jeffrey Wack. So it's going to be a fun round. So even if I don't make it through, at least we'll have some fun. I mean, it is very sweet, but there is also this underlying there is I can't say it's like an underlying oak. It is oak, but man, it's almost like it's toasted. It's got like this marshmallowy, toasty type, feel to it, especially on the nose here. Yeah, fun no matter what. Let's see here. Let me go to man, as this opens up, you really start getting, a few different flavors here. The cherry has kind of morphed into a little bit more of a cherry apple type note. I mean, the vanilla in here is ridiculous. There's a lot of vanilla. I mean, it is like cherry apple pie with vanilla, like whipped cream on top. I mean, it smells good. You're ruining your whiskey, Jason. Quit SJs? Quit SJs. You're ruining your whiskey. Quit SJs. I don't know what SJs is. Let me try it. Here we go. I got way more of the apple on the palate over the cherry. I think the apple comes through. Oh, swirl job, ADHD term. Got it. A swirl job. Sorry. That totally went over my head. Another sip of that. Agitating the alcohol. It's just what I expected. It's actually a little bit drying on the palate, which I did not expect. A little bit drying on the back of the palate. I think there's like a cocoa powder type note there that's also dries you out a little bit. But I got like that baked apple, a little bit of cherry on the palate. It's not as sweet as I thought it would be, like with the barrel entry. Thanks, Brian Fisher. Appreciate that. The Honest J-Bo says, bro, let's drum together, sip some bourbon. Jason as well, fan of the channel. The Honest J-Bo. That's awesome, man. I don't know, dude. Are you in Columbus? I didn't think that Old Forester 117 was coming out until March. Well, it just dropped this week. Lucky enough to get one. So with a name like Historic Entry Proof, I really wanted the sweetness to punch through on this Woodford Reserve. And I think this is definitely different from a standard Woodford Reserve. you know, when you compare them. I think the standard is very just vanilla caramel. It's a very balanced, you know, typical bourbon. Like if you were gonna, you know, tell someone what's like the most typical bourbon profile you could try. I mean, what would you say? Buffalo Trace, Elijah Craig, Woodford Reserve. You know what I mean? And even though I think this is different, I think it brings a little bit more chocolate, a little bit more of like that sweet oak profile to it. It's still, this is actually a little bit spicier than I thought it was going to be also on the palate. I thought it was actually going to be a lot softer. There is a lingering spice to it. And I'm not sure if that's because it's pulling a little bit more tannins from the cask. I'll say this. There's way more of a dark fruit or a bright fruit characteristic on this bourbon than I think I've really had from Woodford before. Aside from the wheat whiskey, which is extremely fruit forward. I'm talking in a bourbon sense. I think this one, from a bourbon perspective, even some Woodford picks I've had, I don't think I've had anything this fruit forward from Woodford Reserve. It kind of starts off rich and fruity. It gets to the vanilla, and then it finishes with like this cocoa powder, almost like leathery drying aspect to it on the back of the palate. A little bit of spice kind of keeps it interesting, but there's nothing really exceptional about it. And, you know, again, you know, you have to think, I think whiskey geeks like us and whiskey nerds, like the folks that like are watching this channel right now and the folks that are, you know, into whiskey, they probably most likely are going to want something with some more proof to it. You know, listen, Woodford Reserve plays in that space of 90.4. They have a very loyal, you know, following that likes that proof point, and it is what it is. I think for those folks, this will be an interesting release to try Woodford with that type of proof point. However, the price on this at, what is it, $160, $130, $130. Now to pay $130 for, you know, just some more fruit forwardness in my Woodford, I don't think it does enough. It just doesn't do enough for me to warrant that price jump. Yeah. You know, and one thing I'll give it, it stays consistent. You still get the dark, you still get like the apple and the fruit all up front. I really think it's more of like a raspberry cherry type thing that kind of hit the front of the palate. But man, once it hits the mid palate, it just kind of dies. I mean, you get a little bit of that spice on the back end, but it's a little bit drying. I mean, I don't even know if I'd say it's good. It's average. It's a decent whiskey. I was interested in this one because I really wanted to. I love like low entry proofs and trying different entry proofs and seeing what that can do to a whiskey. And you know, given the fact that Woodford Reserve has so much history, I thought that was a cool throwback type of idea. But at the same time, this just isn't doing enough for me to be like, oh my God, you know, you guys got to go out and try this. This to me is, if you like lower proof bourbons, and even if you do like lower proof bourbons, that is still a try before you buy for me. I think you could probably get regular Woodford at the same proof point and still be pretty happy with it, honestly. For what? For $35? Yep, doesn't do enough, unfortunately, for me. Lagging again now. Lagging. I don't see it lagging. I get raspberry donut and bacon on 120.3. Nice. I want it to be good. However, I'm tired of the 90.4 Woodford Reserve offerings. Sounds like it's to Woodford what Michter's 10 is to Michter's. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Is the Bardstown Toasted worth the $150 they're charging? Bardstown Toasted. Outside the star, can you be more specific? Which bottling you're talking about exactly? Is it the cherry wood one? Which one are you talking about? Jason, I talked to Trey from Blue Run today. He agreed to expedite your chosen application for a barrel pick. You're an idiot. Is it worth $129? No, in my opinion, it's not worth $129. Yep. I want it to be good. However, I'm tired of it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Read that. Local shops carry the high and wicked straight 90 proof, but can't get the cask strength. So he's like, go figure. Yeah, I wouldn't spend the money on the 94 proofer. I would probably wait to get the higher proofer. And I was talking to the guys at High and Wicked after my review, and they had said that I was pretty spot on with the nosing notes, because I said that I got a distinct banana note in it, and apparently they use a pretty similar yeast strain to what Brown-Forman uses, which, you know, if you've ever been Brown-Forman, it's pretty much straight up like banana bread. So that's why I was kind of saying, if you like Barton or if you like Old Forester, you're gonna like High and Wicked. So, hey, what's up, Pop? No Watching is here. What's going on, man? Let's see here. Yes, got the Air Jordan hat on tonight. What an experience going from that to OC14. Should be fun. Yeah, exactly. Chosen winners have to get a butterfly tattoo. Yeah, you might have to. Thank you, Travis Jewell. All right, speaking of the Old Forester, let's get into this one. And while we're getting into this, we'll go through a couple news stories before we get into the Old Carter. Let me close this up. So Old Forester 117 series was pretty much born with Jackie Zykin. She was the first female to actually have her name on an Old Forester bottle when it first launched. That was the High Angel Share release. But now her signature is not on the label anymore. But they are still releasing these from the distillery. These little 375s, the 117 series. So we've had some extra old age, like 1920. We've had the, like I said, the Angel Share. And this is the Warehouse H. So Warehouse H, it's a limited expression that debut. That's the 170. Okay, so Warehouse H is symbolic of Old Forester's growth after World War II. Construction on the brick warehouses began in 1946, housing 50,000 barrels. The 4-story, 8-chamber warehouse was designed to be heat cycled in the winter months when temperature dropped below 60 degrees and the maturation process ceased. Warehouse H is unusual in its heat cycling profile, with the first floor sometimes hitting the highest temperatures. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a, let's see if it actually says that on here. It doesn't really give that information on here. I mean, it is freaking small print, man. Either way, it's bottled at 98 proof, so we're working our way up here from the Woodford. 98 proof, said to be heat cycled, but from the first floor of the H warehouses. So there you go. So we'll give a try for this one now. Oh man, it's got that banana. Yeah, guys, if you can, please hit the like button while you're here. Hey, what's up, Thurston Howell the third? Warehouse H is tucked behind Warehouse G, so protected a bit from elements. Says first floor where it was pulled from can have more extreme temps. Yes, Abandoned Bourbon in the house, guys. Yeah, please, give him a follow. Great channel as well. Nice to see you here, man. Yeah, so the extreme temperatures of the H barrels is pretty much what drove this expression. So we'll see if it does anything as far as viscosity, as far as sometimes when you have something that ages for low proof over a certain period of time, it could really get some really beautiful flavor. But if you're wanting a higher proof expression, usually go to the higher floors of the rick for that one. But we'll see what happens here. All right, let's go to a few news stories. First one up, we're going to talk about this one, which actually feeds into my predictions. One of my predictions earlier this year, which was about a new era of personalization and experimentation from distilleries to give customers, barrel pick owners, more customization when they go to pick. It's not just about picking a barrel anymore. I think we just saw this jumpstart with Blue Run, that you're able to, if you're lucky enough to get to be chosen, of course in quotes, you get to design your own bottle with different colors, different labels, and kind of create your own style, your own bourbon, your own bottle look and design. It looks like Oak and Eden is getting into this by the whiskey producer letting customers customize whiskey like never before. This is called the Bottle Builder tool. Consumers can truly design their own whiskeys in a way never before possible. They can decide whether they want their whiskey to be made from bourbon, rye, 4-grain bourbon, or wheated bourbon. Each base has been aged at least 3 years. They can choose whether they want it to be bottled at 90 or 114 proof. They can select which flavor spire they want that they can use, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. They can even add a flavored infusion if they desire one. After customizing the whiskey, buyers can enter their name, which will appear in the label's bottle. So they use that oak spiral to, kind of infuse some more flavor into the whiskey. I have a bottle right here. None of you have ever seen one. So here's the Oak and Eden. Now, I did a review on these because somebody asked me to give this a review. And I don't know if you guys can see the oak spire in there. I think you can. There it is. There's a nice shot of it. You see it right up here. That's the oak spire that kind of goes in and flavors the whiskey. And they use different types of woods to, infuse the whiskey, let it sit in there. I wanted to let this sit over an extended period of time to see if it actually improves, because I wasn't that crazy about it when I first reviewed it. But again, this just feeds into what I was talking about. The barrel pick and the customization options to make it a better, more personal experience for folks going to distilleries, I think is just going to continue to grow and grow. We're going to see more innovative ideas, more of these different things that come from different distilleries now. It's not just about picking a barrel. Now it's about customizing it, making it really, really personal for the person that's picking the barrel or the group. And I think that's where it's going. I think that's where it needs to go, just to make these barrel picks, to keep them going and to keep them flourishing. I mean, let's be honest. There's a ton of barrel picks out in the market. It's almost like there's too many. You don't know where to go, where to reach, what store to trust. Oh, I got a barrel pick. Well, so does 10 other guys down the street. But if you could personalize it even more than just getting a barrel that's unique like the guy down the street has, then you got something. And I think this is where it's going to go as we get into further into the year. You're going to see more of these ideas being adopted. Hey, Jason, I just got a new job at a local liquor chain. Was wondering what would be the better value with my employee discount. 4 Roses Small Batch Select, $40, or Smoke Wagon Uncut at $70. For the money, probably 4 Roses Small Batch Select. It's got some good aged whiskey in it, but those are two also very different flavor profiles. I like the 4 Roses value better, obviously, because I think it's delicious. I think it's one of the most overlooked bourbons on the shelf today, still to this day. Now, nobody talks about how good Small Batch Select is. All anybody wants is the 4 Roses single barrels. But I think if you like the 4 Roses profile, I think it's delicious. But you got to like 4 Roses because it is pretty 4 rosy, for lack of a better term. There we go. Yeah, it's like customizing a pre-built PC. Yep. Let's see here. I would go 4 Roses Small Batch. I think uncut, unfiltered retails around 70. Garrett T, first live stream, new to your channel, best on Bourbon Tube. Garrett T, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate that, man. All right. Before we get into the next story, let's get into this one right here. Oh, the banana is alive. Wow, strong banana. It's like a banana pudding. Man. And I'm picking up that note that I get from Old Forester sometimes, which is that acetone note, which is like nail polish remover. I usually get it on the nose, not so much on the palate. Sometimes I get it on the palate, but if I get it on the nose, it's usually from a richer Old Forester, and maybe that's what this one is here. Oh, man. Man, it's actually a little bit minty, which is kind of cool. Banana, mint. Obviously, you got like that caramel drizzle. Slight barrel char note to it. That's nice. Let's give it a try. First sip here. No, I tell you what, that was way more interesting than the Woodford. Man. Wow, this gets really... I was saying banana, but there's like a tart citrusness to this. Citrusness. I don't even know if that's the word. Citrusiness to this. That gives it this really nice little like tang to it almost. But then it goes back into like a woody toasted oak type of note. Oh. A little bit of chocolate. I think those citrusy notes are there, but this gets a little bit darker as you keep sipping it. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the... I don't know. You guys tell me in the chat if you see a difference in 1920 recently, going back to maybe last year, the year before. I feel like it's gotten way more banana forward, and it's lost that like cherry chocolate note that I used to get like back in the day before it went to a new label. I'm not sure if that's, because of demand, or maybe they're using younger whiskey. Maybe they just changed the profile a little bit just to, I don't know, kind of make it a little bit more approachable. But this is giving me those really bold flavors that the old 1920 used to give me. It's got like this graham cracker crust like thing on the back end too. Justin Kim says 1920 isn't great anymore. Dude, that's a bold statement. Keith Thompson says it's different. I'm hearing this a lot lately. SN Fishing. I prefer 1910 over the 20. Was not my jam. A lot of people are choosing 1910 over 1920 these days. It's a thing. That is not something that I ever expected to happen, but it seems to be happening. People are liking the 1910 or the 1920. Back in the day when 1910 first came out, back in the day, like 2 years ago, 1920 I think was still a clear favorite, but I think as the 1920 flavor profile shifted a bit, got a little bit more banana heavy, at least in my opinion. I think 1910, I could see why people like it more. 1910 is the pick of the litter. 1920, I still love 1920. It's still a damn good whiskey. Man, this thing's surprising. Even at 98 proof, it has some really good spice, really good flavor. That like peppery graham cracker note on the back end of it. It's citrusy on the mid palate. A little bit tart. Yeah, but then up front for me, it still has like that Old Forester banana feel to it. It's good. I wouldn't like pay out the ass for one of these. I mean, I think you could get it at retail if you're lucky, or get it close to retail, and you love Old Forester. I think it's worth the pickup. However, I wouldn't like pay the $200 and something that people are charging for these, on secondary or anything like that. But it's a really nice Old Forester expression. It's good. I definitely like I think the finish on is what makes it. Has this really lingering peppery finish to it, and that could be because that low level aging. It's got like this viscosity to it, especially on the finish. Greg Lewis is nice to love your channel. Jason is the best. Thank you so much, Greg. Appreciate you, man. Ha ha ha! Retail, says Pete Noto. Yeah. What's up, Kelsey Dime? Nice to see you. Nice to see you survived the Jeffrey Wack challenge. Took you guys a little while, but you did it. I love my 1920. Looking forward to visiting Old Fort Distillery in July. That Cedar Ridge Double Oak Moonlight Graham. Can't say enough. Yeah, J-Max is good shit, right? Good shit. Yeah, guys, if you guys are interested in trying some of the Match and Journey picks that I do, we have a few left available on Shared Pour. Go to sharedpour.com. Do not sleep on the Cedar Ridge picks that we did. Cedar Ridge, it's a younger whiskey. You're looking at 4.5 to 5 years old, but the flavors in that whiskey are so impressive, especially the double oaked. It's got like it's got a Field of Dreams type theme on the stickers, so it's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna keep sipping that one for a little bit here. Let's go to the next news story here. We have Bushmills. Now, this is a nice little story, just in time for the St. Patrick's Day coming up. So Bushmills is I don't know if you guys know this, it's the world's oldest licensed whiskey distillery, and it just released its oldest whiskey yet. Unfortunately, it's a travel retail only. It's only available at the airport. That's right. You can see on the front of that bottle, it's a 33-year-old age statement on it. This is a 33-year-old Irish whiskey. It's the 10th and final release from Bushmills Causeway collection. It's sold exclusively in shops across all terminals of London's Heathrow Airport, including its World of Whiskey shops beginning March 1st at a suggested retail price of $1,504. Only 690 of these bottles will be available. 106.6 proof Irish single malt will be available. So being a single malt, I think that makes it even more unique. I mean, Bushmills is generally a very affordable Irish whiskey, but once it's a single malt Irish whiskey, you start getting to some different price points. I have a cool series. If you guys go back and watch my Irish episodes, I go through single malt, I go through blended, I go through single grain. And it's just kind of going through all the different categories of Irish whiskey, which is still the fastest growing whiskey segment right now. It's not bourbon, it's actually Irish whiskey. Guess who's back? Back again. Michter's 10-year bourbon. Remember, this was not released last year. They skipped it. This was skipped over last year in 2022. And they are returning. They have announced the return of the 10-year single barrel bourbon from Michter's. So suggested retail price. Now, these keep going up in price. What used to be a $150 bottle is now $185. Unfortunately, Michter said they would not release the product until it was at its peak maturation. Last year, Dan McKee and Andrea Wilson, they said that it just wasn't up to par yet. And they both felt it would be a lot better with one more year in the barrel. So this is it. It's 94.4 proof. Thus far, 2023 has been a year of returns for Michter's. In January, the brand announced the first release of the 2019 of its Michter's Celebration Sour Mash, which had that beautiful suggested retail price of $8,000. So, hey, if you guys like Michter's 10-year, you missed it last year. It's coming back this year. I don't think I've ever had a Michter's 10-year that I think was worth, even at 150, I thought it was too much money. Now it's 185. You're looking out the door over $200. Secondary, even higher than that. I don't know. I think it's too low of a proof for me personally. But I could see why people love the 10-year Michter's. It's very, very sweet. It drinks easy. It's got that big 10-year age statement. There's not a bottle shape like Michter's on the market. So it's got a lot going for it. And I think that's why people kind of gravitate towards Michter's a little bit. However, I just don't think the whiskey inside measures up to the flavors of some of the other stuff you can get today. So if you want like a real, punch of flavor. I still don't believe the GTS or M10 skip and not being used for something else in Justin Jenkins. I mean, maybe that's true with Buffalo Trace, but I don't see that being true for Michter's. Michter's doesn't have a huge, they were going through whiskey shortage. I don't think that stuff wasn't necessarily ready, but I think there was also, a problem with supply with Michter's a little bit. And you got to remember, all their core lineup now is all their own stuff. They're not sourcing that. So Michter's small batch, the regular rye, the American. I actually think the barrel strength rye, that's all being made by Michter's now. That all transitioned over. I actually spoke to Dan McKee a few weeks ago when he was here in Columbus. He heard me say that we were being sourced still, and he kind of corrected me on it. And he said, "Hey, listen, we've been doing our own stuff in these core brands." I think he said since about 2016, 2017, around that time. So really the ones that are being sourced are those high age statement ones, which makes sense. So, okay, next one up here, guys. Let's go to some new labels. So it looks like Rabbit Hole is getting into the Amburana game. Amburana is going to be their next Founders Collection edition. Now, Amburana is the very popular Brazilian oak that many distillers are using to finish whiskeys in. Gives you very, very heavy cinnamon roll and all those great notes that people know and love. But this one's going to have a 12-year age statement. So this is a sourced Kentucky straight bourbon finished in Brazilian Amburana oak. Now, generally, I'd be kind of excited to chase the 12-year bourbon in Amburana because generally the ones you try are a lower age. You talk about Starlight, ASW, like all these guys just doing some really good Amburana finishes, but they're using younger whiskey. Foregate is releasing one soon, has a little bit of a higher age statement. Then you have this 12-year age statement coming from Rabbit Hole. The problem with Rabbit Hole is that they're going to probably charge us $250 to $400 to get that bottle, which I don't know. If Amburana gave us, the drinkers, if it gave us a spectrum of flavors for like each different Amburana cask you had, I feel like it could be worth it, to try something really different. But the fact of the matter is that Amburana is kind of a one-show pony. Every single Amburana finish I've ever had, it gives me the same notes. And I think you could say that for whatever distillery you're trying in. Now, the base whiskey can make it taste a little bit differently. And obviously, if you're doing a first fill versus second fill versus third fill Amburana cask, you're going to get some different levels of like that harsh, like cinnamon roll, sugary sweet, apple cinnamon type flavor profile. Problem with Rabbit Hole is they're going to charge at least $250 or over for that bottle, which there's too much Amburana out there right now to pay that much money for it. I'm sorry. Next one, Wyoming Whiskey is going to be releasing this one called the Wilderness Straight Bourbon. That's only 84 proof. I believe it is a wheater, but all the proceeds for this one are going to, I believe it's Yellowstone National Park, one of the main parks. All the sales are going to, and I think that's really because I think that's why you see such a low proof on this one. You water it down to 84 proof, you have a ton more bottles to sell, to raise more money, to go to that. I believe it's Yellowstone National Park. New Riff. It looks like New Riff is going to be messing around with some new corn varietals. This is called Blue Claridge. And when you look at the back of the label, Blue Claridge corn, 30% rye, 5% malted barley, dating from 1920, derived from corns developed in Fayette County, Ohio. Blue Claridge corn is a true Ohio original. The resulting bourbon is replete with unique fruit tone aromas and rich rounded textures and meld beautifully with our high rye recipe. I love when New Riff does this. I love when they mess around with different grains. I love tasting them. Do they always work out? No. But I mean, the curiosity in me always just wants to try these, red corn, blue corn, purple corn. Whatever it is, there's so many different varieties of corn. Some have more sugars and starch. Some have more starch and sugar. Some are more nutty. Some are more sweet. All these different things interplay together to give you just an amazing amount of different flavors just to try. I mean, every drinker out there should be experimenting and trying these different flavors. They have one more, and that is the New Riff Yellow Leeming, which is another different type of corn. I thought I had the back of the label in there somewhere, but I don't see it. But the Yellow Leeming is another type of corn varietal that they're going to be releasing. 100 proof, that high rye. It's that same high rye mash bill that we saw in the last one. Penelope. Speaking of Amburana, looks like Penelope is getting in the Amburana game as well. However, they're also adding a honey on top of it. So it's not only Amburana, but it is honey. It's their first double cask finish, and it's called the Rio. This one, I think, is going to be part of the Cooper series. We should see it pretty soon. Excited for that one. I'm excited for whatever Penelope does. And I think that's it as far as new labels. Actually, no, I got a couple more here. Old Elk. Looks like they're releasing a 6-year straight rye whiskey called Single Barrel Mile High Rye, which is kind of a nod to being in Colorado. I'm not sure if these are single barrels that are going to be made public or single barrels that are actually used for picks. And then you have Three Chord, which is doing a bourbon and corn whiskey finished in honey and toasted barrel casks. That's a lot going on in that one. That is, I could just like see that tasting like Honey Nut Cheerios. Like I read corn whiskey, honey, toasted. Come on, you don't think it's gonna taste like friggin' Cheerios? I think it's gonna taste like Cheerios. All right, let me like kind of catch up here in the chat. Hey, Whiskey Dictionary's here. What's going on? Rabbit Hole's pricing took a left turn at Albuquerque, says Top Shelf Dustin. That's little for the Rabbit Hole. I would be surprised if they didn't make this another 1K bottle. I don't know, Gary. The Mizunara, I could see why that was $1,000 because that's a very expensive wood, and it's very rare. It's hard to work with. Yes, was it still overpriced? Yeah, but I could see why they would push the envelope to make it as much money as they could. Amburana, I feel like those are a dime a dozen these days. So if that thing is over $250, that's a hard pass. Hard pass. Barrel Vantage doesn't get enough love. Amburana, Americana, French Oak at cast strength like 114. You know what? I got to retry my Barrel Vantage because the last time I tried it, when I first reviewed it, I didn't think it was that impressive. But I don't know if there's a new batch that's out or something because people are loving on it. All of a sudden, I gotta try it out. New riff is double meh, says Jeff Winbush. I don't care if it's watered down. I will buy that Wyoming Whiskey Wilderness. Have enjoyed the Wyoming whiskeys I have had. Says Nimrax, nice. Anything from Ohio tastes too chemically to me, says Zach Jones. It's fair. Need to try Vantage, tried Dovetail Gray Label and was absolutely blown away. Yeah, Mini Van Dam, that shit is good. Let's see here. Jesus, everything is finished. I told you it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. There's just going to be cheery bourbon man. That's what you were thinking, guys. You see corn whiskey and bourbon, which you already know is super inherently sweet, and then on top of that you have a honey and toasted oak finish on it. Come on, that was going to be like drinking a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, maybe with like mixed with some candy corns in there. I love Honey Nut Cheerios. Over under 2 years before we see a whiskey finish in Hawaiian punch barrels. So, Matt, if that fucking happened, probably you and I would be the first online to get that shit because I love Hawaiian punch. I'm just saying, that sounds delicious. But, dude, things are getting that crazy. I mean, there's not enough finishes that people can do anymore. And what did I also say in the beginning of this year, what we're going to see? More combinations, what Forgate's doing. All these things that I was reading, a lot of double cask maturations, doing toasted, doing honey, doing them together, doing multiple finishes in one bottle just to try to make it more and sweet. Again, it's the desertification of whiskey. How sweet can we make this shit to sell it to as many people as we can? That is what's happening. All right, let's get into the Old Carter. So I had the pleasure of going to Old Carter this Saturday, just this past Saturday, I should say, and was lucky enough to get a bottle of this Old Carter Batch 14. Now, I haven't talked about Old Carter in quite some time because, to be quite honest, I can't get it anymore. Old Carter opened up their locker, their locker subscription service where you could buy a locker there. I think it's like $1,200 a year, and then all these different bottles and micro blends get released into the locker. To the folks that are part of that locker subscription service, and then you have the bottles that get out into Kentucky. There's bottles that I think that released to California, New Orleans, New York. I think they're in Chicago too. I forgot all the states they're in right now. But by the time they release, and you don't really hear press releases like what's coming out. If you follow them on Instagram, you could kind of get that news. But like I don't know when these are coming out, and they sell so fast now that you can't get them. At least I can't get them. You got to be like on top of Kentucky. You got to know when these things are dropping, be there immediately, be able to be in front of Old Carter to even get any of these things. Now, I will say, I haven't had anything from Old Carter since Batch 9, Batch 10. And I think that's just due in fact that, I just wasn't able to get anything. But everybody, my friend Blake Benson, who's in the chat, he was talking up this Batch 14. Now, if you guys watch my channel, I pretty much helped. I kind of initiated the absence of Old Carter Bourbon Batch 5. Which where did I put that thing? Why did I put it back up here? Which is right here. So this bottle, oh my God, I'm like almost out of it. This is Bourbon Batch 5. And people, this won my whiskey of the year, I think about 3 years ago. This was one of the most fantastic bourbons I've ever had. And I think Old Carter hasn't made anything that good since. From a bourbon perspective, their American whiskeys are delicious, but I think this bourbon was on another level. Now, I tried 14, and I'm like, shit, that's pretty close. That could actually, as soon as I hit my palate, I was like, wow. So figured I'd taste through this with you guys tonight. Look how dark it is. So this is a 99% corn whiskey. I'm sorry, 99% bourbon whiskey. But it's also been double oaked. I'm not sure of the age ranges in here, if they kind of blended some different ages together to make this, but I do know it was double oaked, just like Old Carter Batch 5 was, which is probably why I liked it so much. So I've been saying the last couple months, the stuff I've had from Old Carter, recently just wasn't really doing it for me, especially for the price point, trying to chase it down. And I'll be the first one to say it. But this batch right here, guys, if you have the means to find this one, proud to be a charter member of the OC Social Club, says Pop 'em, don't watch them. Yeah, 99 corn. Yes, 99 corn and 1% malted barley. So I was right on that aspect. I never see Old Carter. What do these bottles go for? You'll see it for like 200 to 250. And then generally when a good batch hits the market, you'll see them up to $400 generally. But this one reminded me a lot of 5 because it gave me like the chocolate. It gave me that like coffee note that I got in batch 5. It's like if somebody, the reason why I like these so much is, you ever like taste the bourbon and a whiskey? And let me know in the chat, guys. Like you felt like you had a bourbon that was specifically designed just for you, like your palate, what you like. Now that could be a single barrel you had. It could just be a brand that you love, whatever. I felt like these blends that Old Carter did were specifically made or catered to my palate because it's dark, it's oak, but sweet oak. It's chocolatey. It's got that coffee flavor to it. And then on the back end, my favorite flavor, guys, butter pecan, a little bit of butter, scotch, butter pecan, ice cream on the back end of this. Holy shit. Come on. It has all of that. It's like a chocolate, it's almost like a mocha latte on your palate with all this spice. The sweetness of that 99% corn comes through. The spice is there, but just a touch of it. And then it just finishes with like a Werther's original candy on the very back end of it. It is delicious. This is like a leader in the clubhouse already for like my bourbon of the year, which sucks because nobody can get these right now. These are hard to find, obviously. But I haven't tasted anything that good yet this year. This is so good. Russell's, I'm still convinced ECBP was made for me, says Aiden. Bourbon Benders here. I have never seen an Old Carter in the wild ever. Aronite. Yeah, they don't have a lot of distribution, unfortunately. And they are expensive. Kenneth Rathburn says, I have a KC pick from Bourbon on Main in Frankfurt. That's basically perfect for me. Hasn't lost a single flight. I put it in. Russell 13, Discovery 4 lost to it, not even 10 years old. Wow, dude. That's crazy. Peerless Single Barrel Monster Mash from last year. Perfect bourbon. Wish I could find their stuff near me. I paid $269.99 for batch 14. That's about right, Todd. I think that's about what you get. So I don't know if I'm getting smoky bacon, but I am getting like a, when like you make a fresh pot of coffee, like really dark roast coffee, and it's just been sitting in the pot too long, like just been kind of like sitting there, and everything's getting a little bit too heated up. I get like that, like a roasted like a little bit of there's a bitterness to it, but not overly bitter. I think the sweet definitely outweighs that little bit of like coffee bitterness it has. But yeah, pop them. I totally get that smoke note to it. Oh my God, the coffee note is ridiculous on it. And then just to end it, like just that toffee on the back end just makes the whole experience. This is one of those deals where I had to put it next to each other. So before we get into my blind tasting Mad Madness training tonight, let's I had these poured way ahead of time. This is batch 5 versus batch 14. This is my previous favorite against my possible new favorite. Let's see which one I like the best. Little quick blind tasting here. Now, again, I mean, I don't know how fair this is. You have the 14 that was, pretty much a fresh crack. And then you have the batch 5 that I've had for like 3 years with only that much left. So you have some oxidation that's probably happened. Doesn't matter. It's still fun to put them head to head, see what we get. Wow, the noses are pretty similar here. Both very sweet. I mean, essentially, it's the same mash bill, 99.1. Jeff Perkins says, OC Batch 5 versus Houdini. Do it. Yeah. The Mash and Drum compares it to the Spaniard as to overall richness. Oh, the Spaniard, dude. Yeah. Did you get a chance to taste the OC American Batch 10? First, yeah, William, we did try the Batch 10. It's friggin' delicious. So if you got one, that's a good pickup, man. God, they're so close on the nose. Let's see what it is on the palate. Let's start with this one. Oh, wow. A lot of sweetness. Again, that little bit of a coffee note. Let me save my comments. Let's go to this one. This one here is sweeter. A lot sweeter. You get the coffee note, but it's a little bit of a brighter, like coffee note. Maybe not a dark roast, but a light roast. A lot of rich, like caramel corn. That toffee note is still there. Very similar to the experience I was getting on the 14, batch 14 when I just tried it. Man, that's got some richness. The toffee, everything. Oh, but this one is just darker and richer. I'm wondering if that's the 14. But then I'm trying to think back. Well, let me see which one it is. I think this on the palate, this is the one I like more. And yeah, it's the 14. This is the 5. But again, I mean, did the 5 start out like that? And then over time, the oxidation kind of made it a little bit lighter and brighter, a little bit sweeter. Will the 14 get to this point? But man, it's close. I have to say, just based off this, 14 might be my new favorite Old Carter. But 5 is still right there. All right, let's blend them. Of course, because that's what we do on the Master and Drum. We try to blend everything. Oh, by the way, if you guys saw my A123 Elijah Craig Barrel Proof versus A123 Larceny Barrel Proof, I was messing around with that blend for like 3 days to try to get the perfect ratio. Basically, what I boiled it down to was, for me, now I went heavy Larceny Barrel Proof, and then I tried a little bit of the Elijah Craig. I think the Larceny Barrel Proof, the weediness was really hard to blend out. So I kind of reversed it. So I went about 75% Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I would say 70 to 76, maybe 78% Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and then the rest that Larceny Barrel Proof. If you guys have both of those A123s, I highly recommend trying it. I also tried blending the Larceny C922 with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A123, and it was actually even better. It didn't really get all that youthful like weediness that the A123 Larceny had. It just kind of stayed even keel and really, really rich. But I used the same proportions. So if you guys want to mess around, you like to work with blends, and you have those bottles, give it a try. Entered into my first raffle this Saturday at OC is in there, but there are so many heavy hitters that would be more. It would be my 10th or more choice. Turtle Creek and Wine Spirits, Bethlehem, Georgia. Wish me luck. Good luck, Nick. Hope you get something good, man. You got to report back. Wait, when is this? When is it happening, Nick? Is it happening like this week? Because then you gotta tune in next week. You gotta tell us what the hell. You gotta tell us what it is if you won. Let's see here. What's up? Jeffrey Wack is here. Now 5 was always lighter and brighter. Yeah, I don't agree. Top Shelf Dustin. I think it had a definite darkness to it, but you could see the lighter and brightener how light and bright it is against the 14-year. But you can't say it's that much different, dude. It's the same mash bill, the same double O process. I still think you were crazy when you tried it the first time, dude. Just like your Knob Creek 15 was so effing delicious. Crazy guy. I'm only kidding. Hope you had a good birthday, man. It was Top Shelf Dustin's birthday last weekend. Just let us know if there's 5 versus 5. One's black and one's white, but the same. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it kind of is. Did you get to try last year's GTS? I was disappointed overall. It's just hot cherry cough drop for me. So that would be the 2020. I did not try the 2020, or maybe I did. I don't remember. But yeah, cherry syrup on a GTS is pretty standard for the course. Some are a little bit less medicinal. Some are very sweet. I don't know. Any GTS to me is pretty damn delicious. Come to the dark side. Got to blend both C922 batches. Oh shit, we got BT in here. That is Brian Tracy from Sagamore. What's going on, Brian? Nice to see you in here, man. What you missed a lot already, dude. But now the entertainment really starts, because now it's time to do these blind tastings from Map Madness. My training begins right now, and I want to bring in a patron who sent these over. My good buddy Eric Desmarius, who sent these. He sent me 3 blinds, and he's been doing this for some other channels to kind of help train for it. And really just, I mean, he's really screwing with them. So we'll see how bad he screws with me tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome Eric Desmarius to the show. What's going on, Eric?
Yo, what's going on, Jason?
How are you, man? You ready to make me look like an idiot?
No, that's not the intention. We just got to get some good practice in, and
All right, so I'm going to see what I do here. I want to do a little bit of experiment. I want to mix up the glasses too and see if that makes a difference for me. So I'm going to use 2 Glens and 2 Copitas and see if that helps me discern stuff. So I know what glasses I'm going to use on game day, next week. So we'll see how that goes.
I like it.
So we're going to start with blind number 1, which is right here.
Yep.
He sent them all nice and labeled and everything. So now so do you have a number, or you just want me to kind of tell you whatever questions you have?
So I have questions like I did for the other guys. So if you want to drink through and do like a nosing round, tasting round and everything, and answer those questions like the Map Madness questions.
Yeah, I mean,
we can do that.
That is what I need to do. So we'll see what happens, man. Yes, Jason, please make this more complicated, says Jeffrey Wack. So I'm going to be going up against Dusty, Dan, and Jeffrey next week. So that'll be fun. All right, let's get these poured out. Brian Tracy, by the way, if you have any more of that stout finish expression you released, I'm going to need a sample of that because I love me some stout. All right. Let's go here. A, B, C, D. Let's put on a little bit of some background music for everybody. We can go through these.
Jason, I just got the Spaniard today, man. This thing is ridiculous.
What'd you get?
The Spaniard.
You got the dancing goat?
Yeah.
Dude, how good is that shit?
Dude, it's insane.
Yeah, man. I told you guys, don't sleep on it. You'll be sorry if you do. All right, guys. While you're here, please hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, whatever you guys got to do to exactly, keep growing that channel, man. Appreciate it. All right, dude. I am yours here. Let me move my glasses here, and let me get my little notebook so I can take a few notes. I have all my blend together notes in here. This thing is like it's like a diary. This book.
Oh man,
I love this book. Okay. All right, so Eric, a little bit about you, man. You're out of Maryland, right?
Pennsylvania. So.
Oh, you're in Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm close to Maryland. I'm like an hour outside of Maryland, so that's why I hang out with like Dusty Dan and Todd and Andy from 21090.
Oh yeah, actually, so I thought you were local, but if you're not that far, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just head down there. We're doing a tasting at the Graves House this weekend, so I'll be there ranking some bourbons.
Dylan says, Jason, you have to win Matt Madness this year. Got to bear Shook. Got to beat Shook. I mean, listen, Shook didn't win last year. The guy to beat right now is Cam from Drums and Drams. He's the one to beat. So he's the champion. He's the one you got to take out. Listen, at this point, I just got to make it past the first fucking round. So, all right, dude, I'm yours. What do I got to do?
All right, so
here we go.
We're gonna do 30 seconds. So for Glass A, pretty straightforward. You just gotta tell me if it's a bourbon, a rye, or a wheat whiskey.
Bourbon, rye, or wheat whiskey?
Yep.
All right, tell me when to go.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, that is funky. Oh, dude, what the hell did you send me? Man. Man, it's pretty sweet.
That's time.
You know what? I'm gonna. I'm actually gonna say wheat whiskey on that one.
All right.
There was a graininess to it. There was a wheatiness to it. Jeff Sayon says it's a corn whiskey. It's definitely not Malort. SN Fishing. I'll tell you now. All right. So let me go back to my answers here. I said wheat whiskey. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm tracking everything for you as well too. But
all right, sounds good, man.
I like taking notes though. I feel like that's helpful. Like as you go through the rounds and everything like that.
It's kind of good to go through and kind of see where this lands. So keep going, man.
All right. So for Glass B on the nose, you're just letting me know if it's a product of Sazerac, Heaven Hill, or Jim Beam.
See, this is the fucking thing. All you guys like to do Heaven Hill and Jim Beam in the same shit as a choice because you know they have similar nuttiness. Okay, here we go.
Ready? Go ahead.
All right. Sazerac Beam or Heaven Hill, is that what you said?
Yep. Sazerac Beam or Heaven Hill.
Shit. I'm saying Sazerac.
All right. With 5 seconds left. Confident in it.
I'm saying Sazerac on that one.
All right. Cool. Got you there. And both of those were for 3 points.
Okay.
So we'll track the scores a little bit. And then
you guys say Mike Hunter saying they're all Knob Creek.
Dude, that tells you how much of a mental game this is.
Like, yeah, it is. And I'm honestly, I'm not trying to look at anything in my whiskey room like I always do. So
I mean, Matt can mess you up with either what he sends or the questions that he asks. And like I feel like you just gotta pay attention to the questions and the order and everything like that, and then try and trust yourself, you know?
The BJ said I have no chance. Did they say that last night?
I watched a little of it. I don't know. They were doing some predictions. I don't think that they counted you out that hard, but
I mean, if they did, I mean, listen, my track record would probably warrant that. But if they said I have no chance, that's kind of fucked up. But whatever.
yeah, that's
I think Shook is just salty because I beat him in Malt Madness.
that might be it.
All right, go ahead next.
So for Glass C,
Yep.
just let me know if you think this is distilled in Kentucky, Indiana, or Tennessee, and that's for 3 points as well.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, what is it? Kentucky, Indiana, or what?
Or Tennessee.
Okay, got it.
Big three. Go ahead.
Man, this is. I don't know if it's just my nose tonight, but these are coming off very grainy. Maybe it's coming off those old Carters.
That's time.
Man, that's a weird one. I actually wouldn't even pick any of those states for that one. But
It smells like craft, do you think, or?
Yeah, it does. It smells crafty to me. So
Interesting.
yeah, if I'm thinking crafty, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't smell sweet enough to be Kentucky. You know what? I mean, fuck it. I'll say Tennessee. I mean, I'll take a shot in the dark here.
All right.
That one was a little tough. I couldn't really. We'll see here.
All right. And yeah, I'm sure coming off those old Carters, it's a little bit different than what some of this
that might. What I should have done is what I did last week and just like pre-game with a turkey, which is probably what I'm going to do. So.
Yeah, you're like palate setter. Like I said, I got an old Carter batch 14 waiting for me.
Oh, dude, you will not be disappointed. I'm telling you now.
I'm excited.
All right, what do we got for D here?
D, just have to let me know if this is finished whiskey or not, and that's for 2 points. So.
No, BJs were just talking about how competitive you are, Jason, and you were pissed to lose last year. Hop up the stream fast. They said you'd be training to win this year. Yeah, I mean, I am training to win this year. At least do better. I mean, we'll see what happens. You just never know what you're going to get, but I definitely have a plan, and we'll see how I do. I've been guessing proof a lot better lately, so hopefully that helps me a little bit more. I think I was way off on the proofs the last year. I think that's what really messed me up. Everything I was guessing was way higher than what it was. Or actually, I'm sorry, it was reversed. It was way lower than what it was. And I think that's what really screwed me up because then my mind was going everywhere. So I think nailing proof is what I've been working on, which kind of helps me keep me in a zone. So, all right, I'm sorry, Eric. What do you got for D?
So D is just as it's finished whiskey.
Is it a finished whiskey? Okay.
Yep, for 2 points. Go
all
ahead.
Right. I'm going to say yes.
All right. Gotcha. All right. Perfect. Nice.
Yeah, I still say it's finished.
All right. So cool. So yeah, if you want to get into the tasting round, we're gonna go to your strong suit here on A and guess the proof.
All right, see how I do. Let's see if I just talk myself up for disaster. Here we go. So what? So you just want me to get as close as I can to the proof here?
Yeah. So proof, he usually does 5 points if you're correct, 4 points within 3, 3 points within 5, 2 points within 7, and 1 point within 10.
All right. Here we go.
So, go ahead.
Woo! It's definitely got some proof to it. Man, I even feel that coming off the old Carter. That is spicy. I'm gonna guess 125 3.
All right.
123 proof on that one.
Perfect.
That might be the old Carter 14 was actually only 117. So yeah, that definitely had some heat to it. Berman Len says hazardous materials. All right, second one. Let me get some water here while you tell me what the second one I want to do.
So on the second one, on glass B, you're just going to guess the secondary grain. So whether that's corn, rye, wheat, or barley, and that's for 3 points. So secondary grain.
Corn, rye, wheat, or barley?
Yeah, so your secondary grain. So like,
okay,
if it's a rye whiskey, your secondary would be barley.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Oh, what the hell is that? That's really easy sipping. I'm going to say wheat.
All right. Gotcha.
Yeah, so Patrick, I have a what I'm going to do is actually, when it's my time to taste, I'm going to frickin' mute everything so I don't hear shit. So I don't get distracted. All right, what do you got for C?
For C, you're going to guess age. And what he typically does is 5 points if you nail it, and then 1 point off for every year in either direction.
Excuse me, hold on 1 second.
All
right.
You ready?
I got a burp. All right, we're good to go. Here we go.
All right, go ahead.
Ah. That one's freaking weird. I'm not getting a lot of depth to that. Man, I'd be surprised if that's more than...
That's your time.
I'm going to say 5.
All right.
I'm not getting a lot of anything on that, like as far as oak profile. Matt said he is hedging against muting. Yeah, Sandeep, Eric is doing he's doing great for everyone. I'm gonna have to send him something for helping out here. All right.
Right. And then for glass D, for the last one, you just have to let me know if you think it's a rye whiskey, an Irish whiskey, or a Scotch.
Oh. Well, wait, Irish whiskey, Scotch, or what?
Or rye.
Or rye. Got it.
Yep.
All right.
All right, good.
that has such a heavy finish on it to me that Jesus, that is. I'm gonna say rye.
All right.
I'm gonna say rye.
Nice.
That is so citrus. You know what? It could be Irish too because of the tropical citrus notes I'm getting. But it's more orange to me than like pineapple mango. So I'm gonna stick with rye.
All right.
But man, you had me teetering there. I was like, that could be either. That could go either way. I think either rye or Irish for me. Shit. Damn it. I'll stay with rye. It's very citrus to me, so I'll stay with rye.
All right.
But if it's Irish, I would not be surprised.
All right. Cool. So, you want to see what we're drinking then?
Is that it? We're into it.
That's it for one. I mean, if you want a bottle guess, you certainly can. I mean, that's up to you.
The only bottle guess I have, I think, is number 2. I think that's a Weller. I feel it's right at that proof point. I guess Sazerac. I feel like it's like 107-ish proof. I think that's a Weller.
Okay. You're calling it like a Weller Antique then? You said 107.
Yeah, I would think it's a Weller Antique of some sort. I'm gonna take a hard guess on that. This third one had me a little bit rattled. I guess Tennessee 5 years. That one's weird. I'm gonna guess the Jack Daniel's triple mash on that one.
All right.
And then the other two, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. I guess this one is a wheat whiskey. Not really sure what that would be at that proof. I mean, I guess 123 proof, I guess.
Yeah, 123 proof.
I don't know is that the new like Bernheim barrel proof or like something you got at the gift shop? No idea.
I don't have that kind of exclusive access.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, yeah, let's see how terrible I did. Let's go.
Nah, I mean, you actually did pretty well here. I think I sent this out and I was like, I thought about it and I was like, this is something that you could either do really well or it could really trip you up with some of what I put in here.
So which side am I on? I think a little bit more.
I think you did well here. So I mean,
all right.
For A on the nose, we asked you if it was a bourbon, a rye, or a wheat whiskey. You said wheat, and for proof, you called it at 123. So it's a benchmark full proof, which is 125 proof, but it's a bourbon.
Ooh, I was right there.
Yeah, so you're on your proof. So
yeah, see, I think I've been better on the proof, but yeah, that came up, and maybe that's probably plays into the youth of benchmark because it is. I was getting a lot of grain on it, which made me think. Which is why I went wheat whiskey.
It's funky, and that's why I threw that question in there with the wheat whiskey.
It's funky. I don't remember it being that funky.
Yeah. And I figure you probably don't drink a lot of that, so it was.
I don't. I really don't. I don't drink a lot of benchmark at all. So, all right.
Yep. And then for B, we were asking you basically was it Sazerac, Heaven Hill, or Jim Beam, and what the secondary grain was. You called this out as a Weller Antique.
Come on, are you serious?
Yep.
I fucking headshot that.
Yep.
Dude. Wow.
See, I thought coming off of that full proof that would mess you up on that Weller. I thought it would throw you off.
I am blown away right now. I am blown away right now. Holy shit. You know what? It didn't trip me up. You know what happened is that actually made me pick up the wheat even more on B coming off the first one.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe you wanted the reverse to happen, but I actually think it helped me. So, yeah.
Nice.
Damn. Okay.
All right.
Damn, I nailed Sazerac and I nailed the wheat and I bottle called it.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, typically you'd get like 5 points for a bottle call, which would,
James Frail, that's right. I'm going to flex
everything off of that.
I'm going to flex on him. Nailed it. Okay. All right. Now we go downhill from here.
Yes.
Number C, what do we got? I said Tennessee, but that one was a weird one.
Yeah, you guessed Tennessee for where it was distilled, and you guessed age. You guessed 5 years on that one. So this one definitely tripped you up. It's just a McKenna.
That is Henry McKenna?
Yep.
Dude, I'm just going to say right now, that's a terrible single barrel of McKenna. Dude, that is terrible. Oh my God, dude, there's no way.
What? I didn't pay like $79 or whatever it costs now.
Dude, are you serious? There's no way that's Henry McKenna. That is weird. I have never had a Henry McKenna with such a lack of a. If you asked me to guess proof on that one, I don't even know if I would have maybe said 95. I mean, that drink's well below its proof. Dude,
Yeah, so
that didn't even taste like Heaven Hill to me.
I thought that might trip you up a little bit.
That is a funky off-profile Henry McKenna. That is weird. All right. I see you, man.
Especially coming from the other two.
Yeah, and that one killed me, dude. I didn't know.
That was going to be hard. Yeah, so I mean, you would get I think you get 1 point there for age. And then on Glass D, we just asked if it was finished or not.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one, because this one was this I think could have went either way as far as either rye or Irish whiskey, to be honest. So what is it?
Barrel Seagrass.
So it is a rye.
Yep. So it's a rye and it's finished.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yep.
Dude, I didn't do that bad.
No, that was good. That would be a good round right there.
So in Matt Madness point system, how many points would I had it?
So I can total it up real quick. You'd had 4, 10, 14, 19.
Dude, all right.
You would had 25 points there.
What the fuck?
Wow. Yeah, so you would have had 20 off the regular questions and 5 for the barrel. So that would have been a real good round right there.
And is there extra points for like headshot in the bottle, the exact bottle?
Yeah, 5 points typically if you call the bottle.
Well, Jeff, I mean, it's not that I couldn't recognize it. It's just that it's like, people got to understand, like, I have so many whiskeys that once you drink something, you don't go back to it that often all the time. I drank Seagrass pretty regularly when I had it, but that was last year. I mean, not even last year. That was 2021. So it's not like I revisited it like that often. And I think that's why, the different YouTubers and stuff coming into this, we have so much different shit. It's hard to place in your head.
Plus,
what is, yeah. So
you have 60 seconds between the nose and the palate to try and figure out what it is.
Yeah, dude.
I'm pretty confident that if we put something in front of you and give you 5, 10, 15 minutes, that you're going to be able to figure out what it is.
And I think the big thing is too is that you don't realize how much a whiskey, because even what Eric was saying, when you try one whiskey and then you go to the other, that whiskey completely affects the next whiskey and so on and so forth. So what you're coming off of and then what you're drinking next could change dramatically based on what your the order. So I'm happy with that round. I'm not gonna lie, I like that round. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys, we have a second blind tasting we're going to dive right into here. Blind number 2 from Eric. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem.
So far, so good, man. I'm between last week, already tonight. Hopefully we stay here. We'll see what happens in the second one. But I love these blinds, man. I really appreciate the time you put into this, not just for me, but for a lot of channels. So. I think JG is actually sending me one too. I might do next week before the big night. So, but I have some other blinds that I'm doing this weekend when my girlfriend's around. I already have her kind of pouring some bottles to see if I could pick up proof and just stuff like that. Unfortunately, I just don't have, I live by myself. I don't have anyone that could pour me these things, and it's a big difference when you're pouring your own blind, so you kind of know the bottles that are in it, rather than completely like not knowing anything. So I need to have her like just pour me, completely blind samples.
It's different too, because when you pour your own bottles, you start to think about, what do I have that like fits this profile and everything like that, where in Matt Madness, you're probably not going to be thinking about that. You're going to be focusing more on what's in the glass.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that was a good one. So if we went, we would have 25 points on the which could get me into the next round. All right, let's go to the next one. We'll go blind A. Well, this is blind B, and we'll go nose here. Nose here first, and then the next will be the taste. We'll go A, B, C, D. All right, man. What do we got for the first question? Oh, let me just flip that over because this doesn't want to stay. All right, what do we got for glass A here? I mean, this guy has to get a little airtime here.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got?
So on A, on the nose, you're just answering whether you think it's a finished whiskey or not for 2 points.
Finished whiskey or not? Okay.
Okay.
Real quick before you start the timer, what did he say? What was the barrel number on that Henry McKenna, according to the Outside the Star OTS?
Barrel number 11112.
Okay. Patrick Q says, Jason, I'll come over and pour you some blinds out of your whiskey room. It should only take me a couple of hours. No reason. Yeah, come to the whiskey room. I need help drinking all this shit. You're more than welcome. All right, you ready for the timer?
Yep, let me get that back up.
All right, here we go.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Shit. I'm going to say no on that one.
All right.
I'm like looking for, if I don't get like something like fruity immediately, I'm looking for like notes of something that's toasted. Just wasn't getting it in that one.
All right. Gotcha.
I was like, got you. You're wrong, but I got you. Okay. All right. What do we got for B?
For B, just need to let me know if this is a bourbon, a rye, or an American whiskey. And I always categorize like American as like, it could be like American single malt, just basically anything that doesn't fit bourbon or rye profile. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right.
All right. Good.
Oh, that's weird. That smells weird. Oh, man. I'm gonna say rye on this.
All right.
I think it's a rye.
All right. Gotcha. And you're right on time too. Like you're coming in with your answer like either like right ahead.
Yeah, dude, I'm not thinking about it anymore. I'm going with my gut this time. I'm not, this is what I want to like replicate, when I'm on that madness. I just want to go with it and go for it. So I'm not thinking on it anymore. As soon as I think what it is, answering.
There you go.
All right.
I like that strategy.
What do we got for C?
For C, you just got to let me know what the primary grain is for 3 points. So whether that's corn, rye, wheat, or barley.
Okay.
So primary. Good.
Dude, this smells like shit. Oh man, I like these glasses. I'm gonna say wheat on this one.
Okay, it's a primary grain. Good.
Yeah, it's coming off very cereal to me. I'm getting wheat on that one. I mean, it could be barley, but I think it's wheat.
All right. All right, and then on D, our last nosing question here. Just have to let me know if it's a product of Sazerac, Heaven Hill, or Jim Beam.
You dick.
Your favorite three. Basically, like almost like
okay.
70% of the bourbon out there. Yep, go ahead.
Thanks so much, Dan C. Appreciate the super chat, man. Yeah, it's definitely not Sazerac. I'm going Beam right away.
All right.
I'm going to say Beam.
Gotcha. All right.
Hey, what's up, Bourbon Wrench? We got Trev in the house. Nice. What's going on, man? Kenneth Rathburn, he says, whiskey brand name. Shit. Dude, this smells like shit.
Just gotta hope that that's not an ADHD pick, right?
I hope not. All right, we're going to the tasting round now, right?
Yeah, we're good. So yeah, for Glass A, again, just let me know if it's you think it's distilled in Kentucky, Indiana, or Tennessee for 3 points.
All right, I'm ready. You are. You ready?
All right, go ahead.
All right. Tennessee.
All right. Gotcha. Right.
Bourbon Wrench says he's slammered on a Wednesday. Whoops. Oh, God. Dude, what are you drinking, dude? He got that. He posted. He got a pick of that. He got that Weller 12. He's probably drinking the whole fucking bottle tonight. I see you, Trevor. I see you. All right. What do we got for B?
So for B, this is going to be a true-false question. So you just have to let me.
Does he have these now? True, false? Okay.
He does. He mixes them up. So
all right, what do we got?
This one's a little interesting. So you just have to let me know if this rye whiskey has a 95.5 mash bill.
Yes.
Okay. Pretty.
Man, that is yeah, that's pretty rye heavy to me. And I don't know if it's because I'm coming off that first one, but I would say that's 95.5 to me because I'm getting a lot of rye on that palate. So
all right. Quick answers. I like it.
Trev says, "What aren't I drinking?" That is the question. Jason, you know if Matt's gonna F with anyone, it's you. Yeah, I know, because he knows how bad I want this, and I hope he doesn't fuck with me too bad. But we'll see what happens. Let me get a little bit of water here.
Yeah, take your
time. All right.
So, for Glass C, just have to let me know what the proof is.
The proof on C? Okay.
On C, yep.
Oh, man, this smells good. That's kind of nice. I just had water, so I need to take another sip. Cheers, Jason. When are you expecting to come down for your JD pick? We haven't gotten a date yet, but I will be. Wait, dude, I gotta taste this shit. Hold on.
All right, that's time.
Oh, there we go. I'm gonna say it's got a little heat to it. I'm gonna call it right at 120.
All right.
Right at 120. I'm actually going to be in Jack Daniels. I'm going to be at Jack Daniels Monday and Tuesday for their big 12-year release. So I'm really excited. I've never been to Jack Daniels before, so I'm really looking forward to heading down there and trying it out. So, all right. Man, I said that was a weeder before. I don't know if that's a weeder now. Shit.
So you thought that? So let me ask, because that the question was primary grain, and you said wheat. So you think that that was a wheat whiskey, or did you think that that was a bourbon with a secondary grain of wheat?
A bourbon with a secondary grain of wheat, not a wheat whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like a high proof. On the nose, I was getting a lot of graininess again, kind of like what the benchmark was giving me. But now that I'm tasting it, I don't think it's a wheat anymore. So I think it's just a bourbon, but we'll see.
All right.
It's a lot different when you kind of that'll be interesting to see what C is. So I like this, dude. This is a great blind. I like this. So thanks again, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, what do we got for D?
So last one for D is just going to be age.
Age on this one? Okay.
Yep. That's time.
I'll say 7.
All right.
You know what? Make that a 9. I'm gonna go up to 9 on that one. I just got like this little punch of oak. I'll say 9.
All right.
Man, that last one is weird. It like tastes simple, but I feel like it's got some layers to it that keep blooming on the finish. And so it's kind of throwing me off as far as like what that age could look like.
Yeah.
I thought it was beam. I don't think it's a super high proof on that one. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fuck. I mean, yeah, I already changed it to 9. I'll stay with 9, but if it's 7, I wouldn't be surprised either. All right. Yeah, 8 it is. Let's go in the middle. Let's just say 8.
It's not.
Oh shit.
Not a bad strategy.
Yeah. All right. So
any guesses on any of these?
Oh yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah, let's see if I have any headshot guesses again. I think A is a Jack Daniels pick. Single barrel proof. B I thought was like just a crazy rye. It is super, super floral and oh my gosh. I mean, there's just a million of these ryes. I don't really even know what I would pick. I mean, when it comes to a 95.5, I'm like, what the hell is that? That is really rye forward to me. I mean, I don't want to look around my whiskey room, but you know, in this case, with just that amount of rye to it, maybe I don't know, maybe a High West rye. I feel like that much rye spice I usually get in High West. That's the only thing I could think of, to be honest. I'm sure it's wrong, but it's extremely rye forward to me.
Yeah.
All right, C. Now, initially, I thought C was a weeder, but I'm kind of hedging on that. I have no idea. I do think it's a high proof. I'm still kind of in like that 120 proofish range. You know, maybe a little less than that. But it drinks easy. If it is 120 proof, it does not drink that way. Man. I don't know, man. That one's tough. I want to say wheater because it drinks real easy, but it just could be a straight bourbon that drinks easier than the proof would indicate. I'm getting no spice though on the back end of it. I'm not getting any rye. I mean, this is just smooth as silk. So I mean, for like a wheater, if I thought it was a wheater at that proof point, there's not many that's that high of a proof point. I don't know, dude. That one's tough. I mean, I don't know. Is it like an Old Elk store pick or something? Like something cast strength high proof? Maybe a Rebel cast strength? Rebel cast strength at that proof point? You know, that'll be my guy. I'm going to say Rebel. I'm thinking it's a wheater. I'm going to say it's a Rebel cast strength pick. Because of that, I think it's a wheater. It's a high proof. I think it's right at like that 120-ish range. I'm going to say Rebel. And then the last one. The last one I think is Beam. But that proof is weird. What would be that proof? It's got to be either Baker's or Jim Beam single barrel. It's one of the two. It's either Baker's or single barrel, I think. That's what I'm going to stay with. All right. All right. So, again, if we're looking on the range of terrible and pretty good, where am I leaning?
I think you're on the pretty good side again. Dude,
All right. So, I said it's not finished, and I said it's from Tennessee, and I guess it was Jack Daniels. What is it?
All right. So, this was a Old Scout pick.
Oh, it's Old Scout. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. So that's technically Indiana, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, it's Indiana. Shit, but it's not finished. So I got that.
It's not finished.
But it's Indiana. Man.
Did you
I was getting like a dickliness to it.
I thought it was like on the nose, like real heavy, like cinnamon and everything. And honestly, I thought that you might question whether it was some kind of like funky, like Ambarana finished something.
No, I wasn't getting that. Dude, pour a glass of that. And you have it right there?
Yeah.
And smell it. Tell me that doesn't smell a little bit like George Dickel. I'm just saying. It has a definitive like minerality to it that made me think Dickel.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, that's what I was thinking of. I thought it was totally Dickel. So, all right, so not finished. I got
you got points on that.
I got the stated distillation wrong. Okay, let's go to B. This one I'm really curious about. So I said it was a rye. I said it was 95.5. And what did I guess it was? I guess it was like a high. I guess it was like a High West. There's so many 95.5 ryes. So what is it?
So, it's a rare character.
Oh shit! Okay.
95.5 Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Bardstown Bourbon Company. Yes.
From ADHD, it's his pick.
Dude, that's delicious. Nailed it. Got that. Okay. So C, I was all over the place, dude. C was probably the toughest one for me because it smelled, I thought, was like weedy, but then it ended up, when I tasted it, I don't think it's a wheater. I said it's 120 proof. So what do we got, bud?
Yeah, so, and on the nose, I asked you what the primary grain was, and you answered wheat.
Yeah, I did answer wheat.
As in like a wheat whiskey, but it's a larceny, and it's a C921, and it's at 122.6 proof. So you were right on with the proof.
Yes.
So you were good there.
So shit though. All right, so I said primary grain was wheat, but it is a wheater.
Yeah,
but the primary grain is still technically corn.
Corn, correct.
Ah, shit, man, that's just rude.
That's why I was asking you later on, because I was like primary grain, like, and then I was like, did you mean like it's a wheated bourbon, or you mean like it's an actual like wheat whiskey? That's why I was.
I think I thought it's a wheated bourbon.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but I get it. I get it though. Primary grain. You didn't say secondary grain. Okay, I totally get it. But
So
it definitely came off like a weeder to me. So,
yeah.
okay.
So you were on it, but you just didn't listen to the question.
I did not listen to the question at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine, because Matt Madness won't be more distracting than what we're doing right now. You know?
Oh shit. Okay. All right. So I got pretty close on the proof. I said about 120, and it was what, 123? You said?
Yeah, 122.6. So you were right there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Proofs I've been pretty good at. So last one I said beam. I said maybe. I was like, I went to 7, then I went to 9. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go 8. And then I said it's got to be either the beam single barrel or a Baker's. What do we got? Yes. Fucking A, dude. I'm ready for this shit. It's Baker's. Okay. Wow, dude. All right, dude, I headshotted 2 bottles.
Yeah, man, I thought these would have thrown you off a bit more than they did.
Dude, I am very I'm very encouraged by the results tonight. Dude. Jason, I could come on and sing for your next blind and really get you ready. Honestly, that's a great question. Totally tricks your brain in time for a limit. Yeah. Boom. Age. Yeah, what was the age on that one?
So the age on this one is actually 8 years and 1 month.
I was like 7, 9. I'm like, let's just do 8. It's fucking 8 years old.
Yeah. So I don't know where Matt would go on that, because it's like a 7-year age stated product. Like when you think of it, it's a 7-year product. This one's actually 8. So I feel like honestly, if he sent one, it would be at 7.
But it's got to go off on the tag, though, because the tag tells you what the exact age is, even though it says 7-year on the label.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Jim Beam is not going to make like, oh, we're gonna make a new label because it's 8 years old. They're not going to spend that money.
Right.
So shit. Okay.
Yeah. So again, right on
all right.
with that. So
hey, dude. So if I got points on that, what was that round?
So that would have been like
tally them up.
2, 7.
Dude, Eric, really, again, let me thank you for putting this together. This was awesome, man. This definitely helps, and I feel like I have a good guidance of what I could do this year, hopefully, in the next couple rounds, as long as ADH doesn't fuck with me too much.
Yeah, so you would have had 15 based off of just like the regular questions, and then if you called that Baker's single barrel, that would be another 5. And then, I mean, realistically, if you would have on C, you were on it with what you thought it was. You just didn't answer the question right. So I mean, that would have been another 3 points. You know,
that's true. I have to keep in mind of that. Like, even though if I think it's a weeder, I have to say still primary grain is corn. So Jeffrey Wack, I know, is already shaking in his boots. He said, whatever Jason scored tonight, I would score 1 point more. and then he's shaking. So generally I would be at that 20, 21 point maybe.
Yeah, you'd be at like 20 points for like real score, assuming that, again, that you called that Baker single barrel and stuck to that answer. And and you would have been, if you would have answered that question on the primary grain correctly, that would put you at 23.
Well, so I'm kind of pissed off though. I didn't break. Indiana's tough for me because I've had so many. I've had so much MGP. I feel like I should headshot that, but I got to work on calling out MGP. I think that's my weak spot. So, dude, bring in the heat. Let's go. You got to trust Stout Belly. Baker 7 is a hell of a call. A lot of bottles very similar to it. Yeah, I mean, it just had a flavor profile. I'm like, when I'm thinking, I totally got Beam on the nose on that one, but then it like the proof wasn't hitting for me. So I'm like, man, what Beam products come in at that proof point? And Baker's is one of those ones I kind of always forget about. And yeah, I'm like, dude, it's got to be Baker's or that not Jack Daniels, but the Jim Beam single barrel, which I think is 108 proof. But it didn't taste that young. I feel like it had a little bit of age on it. So yeah, Baker's. But like in it, I have to make a decision. I can't say one or the other. I gotta say like this is Baker's or this is this.
Right.
If I want those extra points. So all right. So I have one more. I have one more week where I could do a couple of these blinds. I think JG's sending me one, and Eric, you have blind number 3, which we need to do next week as well, if you're up for it.
Yeah.
So
do that.
So I want to see Dusty and Jeffrey Wack. You guys a little afraid yet? You a little afraid yet? We'll see what happens. Maybe not. But my goal this year is to not only win Malt Madness from SMWS, but also win the Map Madness. I want the double title this year. I'm just saying. I want that double title very, very badly. We'll see what happens. Yeah, 2 bottle calls, B. Bauer. I nailed the Weller and I nailed the Bakers. I sort of nailed the 95.5 rye, but there's so much of that shit. It's hard to. I don't know. It's
I knew that you had picked one.
Like who doesn't do 95.5 rye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like off profile too, because it's Bardstown as like a 95.5.
Yeah, Bardstown. The reason why it has so much more citrus than like a kind of like the traditional minty herbal 95.5 rye. That's what I like about the Bardstown 95.5 rye. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting this year. Cam did good the other day on BJ compared to Dan Shook. Yeah, I think Cam is like, he is focused to be like a double champion this year. I know he's been drinking, like doing a lot of different blinds and training. I don't have the time to drink that much. So I need to just sneak in shit when I can. So I think this weekend I'm going to do a lot of blinds when I can. And hopefully it all works out next week. So we'll do one more training session next week on Wednesday. Hopefully if JG sends me his, I'll have Eric back on again next week to do his 3rd blind that he sent me, and we'll see where it goes from there. But holy shit, we just get this $100 from John Craner, dude. Thank you so much, extremely generous of you. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Jason, you have the palette, and just listen to the questions. Yeah, exactly. Oh God, just listen to the questions. Less shoe shopping, more practice, says Medium Ugly. Yeah, that's the thing. By the way, everyone always asks what Nikes you're wearing tonight. So tonight I have my Shadows on, my Air Force One Shadows, which is one of the most. I think this is probably one of the most popular colorways from Air Jordan 1s because they could pretty much go with anything. So these are the Air Force One Shadows. I think, yeah, I mean, I love these shoes. So 08 says, the Master Drum, you weren't kidding about the Spaniard. It's so good. Yeah, any of you guys that got the Spaniard, you know, I said I wasn't going to do a live tonight, but if any of you guys do an after party for Patreon-only members, you want to come on, bring your Spaniards if you got one, and we'll sip it together. So I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight, listening to the show. Subscribe, like, do all the things. Guys, give a big shout out to Eric Desmarius right now in the chat. I really appreciate his help and everything he did. I have a lot more confidence going in, I think, just because of these and some of the other blinds I did last week and during the week. And we'll see how it goes. But we're going to do one more blind tasting next week, I think, with a couple more different blind tastings. We'll see how it goes. Cheers. Love all you guys. Keep on the lookout for some pretty big videos I've been working on. You haven't seen a lot of content this week for me. I have some videos I've been working on for a little bit little bit of a long time here. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. It'll either launch tomorrow or Friday. We'll see how fast I can edit it. But other than that, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share it with. Cheers. Love you guys. See you next week right here on the Master and Drum. Until next time. Thanks again, Eric. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Cheers.